Story: The Little Red Riding Hood. A long time ago, there lived a little girl and her mother in a village near a forest. The girl always wore a red coat with a hood, so everyone in the village called her Little Red Riding Hood. One morning, Little Red Riding Hood asked her mother that she wanted to visit her grandmother. Her mother agreed. She put some cookies in a little basket and gave it to Little Red Riding Hood and said, "Here are some cookies for your grandmother. Remember, my dear, don't speak to any strangers on the way." "I promise I won't, Mama," replied Little Red Riding Hood as she left. On her way, she met a bad wolf who said, "Hello, little girl, where are you going?" "I'm going to meet my grandma. She lives in a small house behind that hill," Little Red Riding Hood replied. The bad wolf said goodbye to the girl and ran as fast as he could to her grandma's house. The wolf knocked down the grandmother and locked her up in a cupboard. Then he dressed up like grandmother and waited for the little girl. A little later, Little Red Riding Hood reached her grandma's house and knocked on the door. Hearing the knock, the bad wolf changed his voice and said, "Is that you, my Little Red Riding Hood? Come in, my dear, the door is open." She entered and stood near Grandma's bed and said, "Grandma, you sound so different." I'm ill, dear," replied the bad wolf. "Oh, what big eyes you have!" Little Red Riding Hood said in surprise. "So that I can see you better, my dear," replied the wolf. "My, what big ears you have!" said Little Red Riding Hood. "So that I can hear you better, my dear," replied the wolf. "Oh, what big teeth you have, Grandma!" said Little Red Riding Hood. "So that I can eat you better," the wolf shouted as he jumped off the bed. Little Red Riding Hood got scared and shouted for help. Just then, a woodcutter was passing by the grandma's house. He heard the Little Red Riding Hood's voice and ran inside the house. He saw the bad wolf and hit him with his axe. The wolf ran into the forest. The woodcutter then opened the cupboard and got the grandma out. Grandma and Little Red Riding Hood hugged and kissed each other. They thanked the woodcutter and gave him some cookies.